Tuesday, partial Wednesday, with little extra time after that, knowing the players had class at 11 today. So a lot of work has already been put in. Nice to be working on the next opponent. You've already just talked to Christian. He's an amazing person, and he's optimistic and positive and ready for his chance to lead the team. So what questions can I answer?
Bronco, you mentioned before that after a loss you had a great opportunity to teach. Did you find that in the last 48 hours?
Oh, it's been invaluable, and so not quite finished teaching on a short week with as much practice as we had to get done. I was allotted basically a 10-minute team meeting, went for about a half hour, and that didn't even come close to saying what I wanted to say. So we'll squeeze as much in as possible before we play Thursday. But there is urgency with the players, there's urgency with the coaches, and they're motivated, which is difficult to teach without someone that wants to be taught. And from what I saw today, they want to be taught, which is good.
Can you summarize what you did say to them and what maybe the biggest problems were from the Utah State game?
I'm not sure that I'll share what I summarized. In terms of what problems there are certain things we certainly can work on. There was a stretch at the end of the second quarter. We made 3 or 4 critical mistakes, or three or four mistakes in a short amount of time, with basically an offsides on a PAT field goal attempt, a long PAT field goal, and then a fumble, and then an immediate score, and then actually one more score. So there was this period of time there I think we lost our concentration, didn't play good pass defense, but basically just didn't maintain our focus, and the entire stretch. Within that stretch, Taysom got hurt, so that about 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes before halftime. And then I thought the players responded pretty well in the second half, but there's a resiliency factor with turnovers, with short fields, with concentration, but in basically just discipline that I think they could handle a little bit better.
More concerned with your corners or the inability to get the pressure on Garrettson?
In that particular case, 2 of them were drop 8, which means that they were pass calls with 3-man pressure against, one was a 1-man route and one was a 3-man route. And so 3 against Max Pro, but also knowing we're dropping 8 with the intent for the ball not to go over. So that's more concentration and discipline rather than ability.
How much more involved will you be with the defense this week?
Not much more. My intent is to continue to mentor, continue to advise, to continue to support both Robert and Nick as best I can. And then be a resource where I'm needed and when I'm needed. But man, I like what they're both doing. They're trying really hard, especially now with Taysom being out. I had been spending most of my time, I've been spending all my time with the offense. With Taysom being gone, to say that that influence isn't needed, I still think there's value there. But I still want to be there for Nick as well, so I think that's just the role of a head coach right now.
How would you describe your team's previous dependence or level of dependence on Taysom Hill?
Oh, I think there was a level of confidence. I wouldn't say dependence. And confidence meaning that no matter what the situation, Taysom's in, he'll pull it down and make 2 guys miss and do a hurdle and run for whatever. He'll scramble his way to a first down. He'll put his head down and get us a first down. So there's always just a confidence that we'll never be out of the game. What happens now, and what I shared, or what I've thought, is that the team simply has to execute at a higher level. Taysom is gone. One player does not make a team, even though Taysom's a fantastic player. But the execution of all positions within their assignment, within their technique, that has to improve and improve right now.
Can you give us updates on Alani Fua, maybe even Kearsley, a couple of other those high ankle sprains?
All I've been told right now is they're high ankle sprains, and whatever probable, hopeful, doubtful, I don't know. And so you can check with our trainers on that, and I'm not sure where they're going to be.
Do you know much about Taysom's injury to elaborate on exactly how it was?
I don't know the exactness of it, other than it was 2 hours worth of surgery, 1 plate, 8 screws, every major ligament shredded, so significant. And I'm not even sure, I don't have any of the exact procedural things, other than when they knew it was bad, but when they got in it was worse.
How concerned are you with just the lack of a pass rush the last couple of games?
I'd love to see more pressure on the quarterback. I'd love to see him throwing it without a bunch of time. This particular game was one where Utah State, on 4 different occasions, most of them double moves, out and ups, slant and goes, post corners. 4 of them were max pro. One was well, 2 of them were one-man routes, and the other 2 were 3-man routes. And so they had a nice job and plan in place. The rest of the balls really for the past 3 weeks, I would say, have been thrown on time. But I'm still not happy with the number of hits we're getting on the quarterback, even if it's not sacks.